Have you ever seen a bear in real life? You don't always want to, because they're so cute in the pictures, but up close, different story. So my daughter and I, her name is Grace, we are up in northern New Mexico. I had picked her up in Colorado at a church camp in the summer, and we were driving back. We decided to go camp out. I was ready, actually. I had brought everything to go pick her up and to go camp out on the way back. So we were heading over to the area of Durango, southwest Colorado, to go camp. Well, the weather turns horrible there, and of course we realized at that point that there's this rainy season in Colorado, and usually around July and August, every afternoon a storm kicks up. Well, it was pretty bad. It was just constantly raining. So we actually left there and we went to northern New Mexico. Again, I'm used to this area, so we go up to northern New Mexico, north of the Red River area, and we go into not where the Latir Mountain is, but it's still Latir Mountain, but it's on the north side, and there's Latir Lakes. And you can actually go up there, and it's a Spanish land grant. I think it's the last one in the United States. So we go up there from the north because there's a pretty decent road getting up there, and I think there's 7 or so lakes. Beautiful spot. At that point, it was $19 a day to go up and camp up there, but anyway, we did. And so we're up there, and we're at the lowest, not the lowest, we're at the biggest lake, and there's the lowest lake, and then the second one up is the really big lake, and that's where you can camp at. If you want to go to the lakes above that, then you have to hike. There's a trailhead that leads up to the other lakes. It's a real small trailhead, but it's mostly campsites there. So we're up there, and I've got a really big tent. My daughter's with me, as I said, and I've got 2 guns at this point. I have a shotgun and I have a handgun. Now, I know we're going to go camping, so I always take weapons with me to make sure that we're protected. I also had bear spray. And so we're up there and we're camped right on the lake. It's beautiful, having a great time. And there's some college kids, 2 young men that are about 3 campsites down from us. And they're making a lot of ruckus and everything, but we were far enough away, it wasn't a big deal. They were nice guys. I think they were from Wisconsin or Minnesota. And we find this out later, but we meet them because we're going hiking or something. Anyway, we cross paths. We get to know them just a little bit. And they tell us, they said, there's a black bear that's been bothering us. So be prepared, be ready if you see it. Well, what we always do when we're out is we don't keep any food with us. We try not to do a lot of smelly food, and then we have food with us, but we either put it up in a tree farther away. We have the rope and a bag. We'll put smelly stuff up in the tree, or we'll put it in the truck where hopefully they don't smell it and don't tear my truck up. However, there's an interesting story about that. Where we live here in Colorado, around Larkspur, somebody had bought a brand new Toyota Tundra, and they left it unlocked. And this bear got in the truck, I guess, flipped the lever, the handle, got in the truck and then got stuck. Totaled the truck because it finally got out, but it ripped that truck completely apart. And again, it totaled it. So be careful, lock your truck. Well, my daughter and I go hiking, and we're trying to get up to Latir Peak, and that's around 12:05 or so. And we're getting up there, and that's kind of another story in itself, but we get up there and a storm starts to kick up. I think we were around 11 o'clock or noon, and we actually never made the peak. I think possibly because I wasn't in the best shape of my life, and I'm still not there, but I'm working on it. So that's the day we were hiking. We come down to all beautiful lakes down there. We had a great time. Well, we get down there, and these guys, they're cooking everything. They're drinking beer, they're cooking steaks. They got smelly stuff everywhere. This bear keeps coming back to their campsite, so we ended up seeing him again later and talking to him like, yeah, this bear keeps getting closer and closer. And I'm like, you guys are cooking out the best, most delicious food in the world. This bear is hungry. So we go back to our campsite, and my daughter and I, we are planners, connivers. I probably don't want to use the word conniving, but we do plan and try to figure stuff out. Well, we start talking about what we would do if the bear comes to the campsite. And what we had talked about was that she would have the handgun. Now, I've already taught my daughter how to use weapons, so that's not a concern. Don't get on me for that. So I told her, we talked about it. So she would have the handgun, I would have my shotgun. Now, I had slugs in my shotgun, just for the bears. I know that if I come across the bear, I don't want to shoot a bear with a hollow point. Now, will it kill it? Maybe, sure, possibly, but I wanted a slug. So I had slugs in my shotgun as a 12 gauge. And then I had the bear spray. So I told her, I said, okay, if anything happens, I'm going to give you my keys. You have the handgun with you. You get in the truck. I'm going to back up. I'll have my shotgun with me. I'm not going to try to shoot it or anything, but I'll have the bear spray, and we will get inside the truck, and then we'll go find a ranger and get help. Not that we can't deal with it by ourselves, but I'd rather not kill the bear. So my daughter and I have a plan, and later we hear some gunshots. So we go over to, oh, no, what happened? So the next morning, there was gunshots in the middle of the night or something, but then it was still quiet, so we didn't really think much of it. No, that's not right. See, I got to go back and remember the story. So it was nighttime. We hear the gunshots go off, and we hear yelling, I believe it is. And again, I might be making up stories, but overall the story's true here. So we go over there to see them, and the bear is dead in the water in the creek that's coming out of the river or the lake. The bear is there just laying and dead, and we asked what was going on. And they're like, yeah, the bear started getting too close, so we shot it. Well, they had a 38 handgun, and they shot this bear. I'm like, well, first of all, you know, I guess you're pretty accurate. You hit the bear. How close was the bear to you? They shot it in the head. And I'm like, first of all, I wouldn't want to shoot a bear with a 38. I'd probably just piss the bear off and he'd come after me anyway. But they did. They shot it, and they killed the bear with a 38, got it through the forehead or the skull. And so they were all a little bit worked up and everything. And I said, well, it's self-defense. I mean, I'm not, you know, you are stupid for making all this great food in the first place. And you shouldn't have done that, or you should have put the food up. But they were concerned, and I told them, I said, well, it's self-defense. You're not going to get in trouble for it other than being stupid. And so we talked, and that's when we found out that they were from up in Wisconsin or Minnesota, something like that. And again, they're out there having a good time, but if you are out around bears and mountain lions, you better know a little bit about it, because those bears are hungry. And if you leave food out, certain types of food especially, you're going to get visited by a bear. So my daughter and I go back, we fell asleep in the tent, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night we hear a truck leaving the area. So the next morning we get up and we walk over there, and they cleared out. So evidently they were a little afraid that they're going to get in trouble. I mean, we weren't going to turn them in or anything like that, because other than being a little bit stupid about being around bears, they were good guys. So, you know, they just ran into a situation and they didn't handle it right. And what they should have done, honestly, is they should have packed their food up. They should have probably gone out to the ranger station and told them about the bear, rather than shooting the bear, because they shot the bear when they didn't need to shoot the bear. Reminds me of another story when I shot a rattlesnake in Arkansas, and I didn't need to shoot the rattlesnake. I mean, it was in the trail, and it was really steep, and we were kind of hard to get by the snake, but probably didn't need to shoot the snake. Well, anyway, they shot the bear. So my daughter and I pack up, and we're leaving that day anyway, and we head out. So we go down to the ranger station. Nobody's at the ranger station, but we left a note on the door that the bear was dead and up there. Now, they were at least nice enough to take the bear and pull it out of the water, and so it was laying on the dry ground. But we then let the rangers know that there was a bear. We didn't tell them about the guys or anything. We just said somebody shot the bear. And I left my phone number with them. If they needed to ask any questions, then I would be able to answer it. But that's that story. The problem is, none of that would have happened if these guys were a little bit smarter with their food. Kind of irritated a little bit, because, I mean, really, bears are beautiful and they're dangerous too, but they're fine if you respect their area and you know to not attract them, and how to at least do things where the food's not next to you so you don't end up in trouble. Now, this is one of the situations where we were pretty prepared. The only thing we didn't have is we didn't have a satellite communicator. Now, I think I actually owned one at that time. So no, I didn't. I did not own a satellite communicator. So we had no way to communicate up there. So if I were to give any advice to myself, I'd say, hey, have some kind of satellite communicator where you can hit SOS or two-way message. All right, so when you go in the outdoors, be prepared, but be respectful of other people and wildlife. And I'll see you back out here in Colorado in the next video.